Randomized controlled studies are unethical in a pandemic. Coming up. Albert Einstein once said two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. Understand that masks have an important role in a pandemic. Unfortunately, uncertainty gains traction as the pandemic devolves into an endemic disease. We just lack the knowledge to make global recommendations on masking. I recently had a PhD say that randomized controlled studies in a pandemic are unethical. He then quoted the Bangladesh study as an example of a randomized controlled study, which was conducted during a pandemic, as a reason for masking kids in school. It did demonstrate a modest reduction in symptomatic COVID in vaccine-naive and natural immunity-naive adult populations. The proportion of individuals with COVID-19-like symptoms was 7.63% in the intervention arm and 8.6% in the control arm. The actual seroprevalence data shows a 0.6% rate in the masked versus a 0.7% rate in the unmasked. All this controversy over 0.1%. The 11.6% is a statistical trick known as the relative risk reduction that demonstrates the difference in the infected population only and excludes negative patients. Unfortunately, this does not even apply to kids in school, nor does it apply to a population with greater than 80% exposure to a vaccine or the virus. This exemplifies the failures in our current public health policy and those writing it. They are recognizing research when it supports the current narrative and dismiss it when it does not. Researchers and statisticians tend to spin the data in a way that supports their hypothesis. Negative result trials and studies are not published as often as positive ones. One study noted the average positive result publication was increasing with 70% positive in 1991 to 85.9% in 2007. In other words, it's more likely to see a positive result on masking being published versus a negative result. The bottom line is that masks should be limited to those who are at highest risk for severe disease. It should also be for those with symptomatic disease if they have to be out in public. It's not for asymptomatic people or those with minimal risks. Why treat a population that has minimal risks? What risk is too much? Could there be adverse effects of the treatment? Who really benefits from this? Are you more virtuous with the mask on? It seems that many who wear the mask do so to feel empowered and in control. Maybe we could just wear a button instead of a mask?